Hey there, Capricorn. Welcome to your reading for the Virgo eclipse that is happening on March 13th or 14th, depending on where you are in the world. And we are just going to look at the energies of the eclipse. You have this card. It says, be true to who you are. It says, fear will not stop you from shining. You have this card. It says, it is never truly the end. It says, beloved, in this, everything will be okay. So there you go. I feel like Capricorn needs to hear everything will be okay every day for like the next 6 months. So I think you need to tell yourself that everything will be okay. And you have the tower showing up in the area of your thoughts. So it's not the worst place for the tower to show up in because, you know, again, it's just like a thought that you could be having, that you could be thinking the world is coming to an end or, you know, that something is dying in your life, but actually everything is okay. You have the Empress right there and the Nine of Cups right here. So again, I think that a lot of you, this is like a very Capricorn thing, like worrying about things that just aren't going to happen. Look at this last row. That looks amazing. So, again, I wouldn't even worry about whatever you're thinking is going to happen here, Capricorn. Again, eclipse energy can last for about 6 months. So, this reading is kind of like for up to 6 months into the future. You have the Three of Swords here. Three of Swords is how you're entering into the reading. And, I will say that pretty much every single sign has had the Three of Swords. Now, this eclipse is happening in Virgo, and Virgo has a little bit to do with healing and health, obviously. So, any healing that you can do would be a good idea. I'm talking about healing in general. It could be your health. It could be your mindset. It could be, how you treat yourself, the words you use on yourself. All that stuff could be going through healing. The Three of Swords is also about forgiveness, and we don't have to forgive a person directly with the Three of Swords. We just have to forgive them in our heart, and then we can move on. So, and again, this is a very, common theme for this eclipse, so doesn't really surprise me to show up. Your crossing energy is the Four of Swords. The crossing energy can be what hurts you or helps you in the Celtic cross. The thing about the Four of Swords here in this reading is that I feel like sometimes Capricorns can, it's like things, something needs to be fixed. And I feel like Capricorn wants to fix it, but it's almost like the universe is saying like, no, I want you to take a break and not fix it, right? And so, sometimes I think maybe we want to improve our finances, for example. And so we think I need to work really hard and I need to do everything I possibly can to fix my finances. But the universe is like, no, you need to relax and take a break. And I kind of get that energy here. It's about, if you don't have the energy, if you're not being effective, then you're kind of like wasting your energy, right? And so I feel the Four of Swords is asking you to like balance work with taking a break, resting, relaxing, recovering. It's almost like this reading is saying this is something that you need to do, that no matter what's going on around you, just taking a break, breathing, all that other good stuff would be very good for you. Next, in the area of your thoughts, you have the Tower. In the area of your thoughts, again, this isn't so bad because it's just saying that you're thinking that something could be a Tower moment. The other thing about the Tower is that the Tower is about seeing reality. And, so you could be having a mental Tower moment where you are like seeing some sort of truth of a situation that you're involved in, or you could be seeing the reality of a situation. And with the Tower, it would basically say that you thought that the reality was something completely different, and now you're seeing how things really are. So there could be like a little bit of a shock to your system here, at the time of this eclipse. It could have already happened, I'm getting as well. Today is March 8th. So I will be publishing this video on March 9th. So even if you're watching it before the 13th or the 14th, doesn't matter. It could have happened already where you had some sort of realization. The thing about realizations that we have during eclipses that are uncomfortable, especially these lunar eclipses like this eclipse we're having in Virgo, is that, it can be like the type of realization where it's like you say to yourself, maybe you look at your finances and, maybe you're not making as much as you need or you're barely scraping by. So it can be uncomfortable on one hand, but it's also, eclipses are a catalyst. They are the thing that makes us do something to change. And so I don't really, it's like, yeah, sure, this could be a little bit uncomfortable, having a realization, but, at the same time, it could be just what you need to get motivated to get moving, right? So, I kind of get that feeling off of this Tower. You have the Seven of Pentacles in your foundation. Yeah, it's like you're basically telling yourself that something needs to change. He's looking at what he has grown so far, and he's saying to himself, is it worth it or not? This is my card that says, is the juice worth the squeeze? Is it worth it for me to keep growing these pentacles, or is there something better or something else that I could be doing with my time? And a lot of you, I feel, are clearly making a change. Now, here's the thing, is that this part of the reading is amazing, so clearly this is going to be a positive change. Next, in the energy of your past position, you actually got 3 cards. You have this card, it says overcome any obstacle, very Capricorn card right there. You have the surrender now in this turkey spirit, which says give with grace and gratitude. So the turkey is a symbol of abundance, and you have the Empress coming up here. There could be a lot of abundance coming in for you. I feel a lot of you, the surrender thing is about needing to surrender to taking a break, right? Needing to surrender to not thinking that you have to climb the mountain, right? Needing to just relax, and that's the energy I get there. Also, in your past position for the energy you're moving past, you have the Two of Pentacles. It's like you're making up your mind here, I feel. Some of you could be making a decision finally on, literally anything that you're doing. And so if you've been trying to make a decision for a long time, I really don't feel much here on this Two of Pentacles. I just feel like you're making up your mind, really. That's not what the Two of Pentacles represents, but that's what I get intuitively there. Next, in the area of your very near future, can't make this up. You have this card that says slow it down. Exactly. You have this card that says communicate on it. I kind of feel a lot of you need to talk to yourself. Like, you need to slow down your thoughts or, the conclusions that you are drawing in life. The Tower in the area of your thoughts could say you are jumping to conclusions that they could be true or not. It kind of goes both ways. But at the same time, I think if you're rushing to judgment at this time, then that's going to create more of this chaotic energy. The thing about the Empress is she represents chaotic force. She has this waterfall that is behind her. It's kind of hard to see. And, if you were at the bottom of a waterfall, you would be getting tossed around all over the place. And the point of the waterfall on the Empress is, number one, it's the water that flows down from the Emperor, right? It's kind of like the energy, the creative force that flows behind him. But it's also chaotic force. So she understands chaos. She understands life is chaos, that things will sometimes not go according to plan. But she's also perfectly fine, right? She's not worrying about it. She's not concerned about it. She's not causing a big ruckus about it. She's sitting here and she's focusing on what she can do. What can she do? She can wave that scepter in front of her and grow the abundance in front of her here. And so she's not like stressing out about doing it, and she's just focusing on what she is capable of doing in this very moment. And I think that there is something about this reading that is talking about being present in the moment. It's like saying, if you're $1 million in debt, right? It's like, but you have $10 in your bank account. It's like she would, if she was in that situation, she would know. She's like, oh, she would just say like, okay, yes, obviously I can't make $1 million overnight right now, but like, what can I do to get close? That is what's going to solve the problem. Focusing on the problem isn't going to solve the problem, right? So even if she would have to start small, right, to make that $1 million, to fix her problem, she would start small and she would say, this is what I can do right now. And I definitely feel that would be a good place for you to come from, Capricorn. Instead of worrying about all the issues, just focusing on what you can do right now with what you got is what she is asking you to do. Next, in your outcome row, you have this divine intervention card. It says, angels are working behind the scenes to assist in the miracles you've requested. There you go. And you can't make this up because you have this angels card. It says, angels are watching. There's nothing to worry about. Angels are watching over you. The whole entire reading says, don't worry, which might be hard for you at this time. There might be a lot of things to worry about. I'm not going to sugarcoat it with that tower showing up in your thoughts. You're clearly thinking about something like a tower moment or an issue. And so I think this is saying, like, be present. Next, in the area of the next few months, you have the Nine of Cups, which is amazing. Nine of Cups says you could be feeling fulfilled or focusing more on fulfillment. This also says that your energy is better aligned because the Nine of Cups is a card of alignment. He is in perfect alignment with what he wants, and because of that, he is getting what he wishes for. So a lot of you could be manifesting a wish over the next few months, which would be great. Next, in the area of your closest relationships, you have the Three of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles, this is all relationships in your life. And Three of Pentacles says teamwork makes the dream work. So anything you can do to work together with people who support you and lift you up would be a good idea. I always look at the Three of Pentacles as a common vision. They're all working towards one thing, those three pentacles. So it might be a good time to make sure you're focusing on the connections where you are all the people are going in one direction. And same thing with a relationship. Like if you're in a relationship, are you going the same way? You're both different people, obviously, but it's like, are both people working towards like a common goal? And you can do different things to do that, of course, but it's like, are you on the same team? And I feel like that's what the Three of Pentacles is saying. But not just in love. Like I said, I think all relationships that you have in your life, like are they all going in the same direction, or are there people that are causing chaos, right? And that's what you should avoid. Next, in the area of your future feelings, you have the Six of Cups. Really good. Six of Cups is innocence and nostalgia. Sometimes I feel that Six of Cups is a gift from the universe. Usually the gift we receive with this card is a turnaround. Like we are bumping up against an obstacle, and then the obstacle is removed, and that's kind of like the gift we are receiving. So a lot of you could finally be having a breakthrough in the future, or you could feel like you have experienced a breakthrough in the future, or a turnaround is the word I was looking for. The other thing is that every once in a while, I'm really focused on this glove that she is wearing. It looks like an oven mitt. And sometimes I feel like the Six of Cups says, are you holding something? Like, are you playing it too safe in life? And I'm not saying you should be taking ridiculous risk or whatever, but, it's like, are you playing it too safe in what you're doing or not, right? I don't really have a good example. I guess a good example would be this channel. Like for the first 4 years of this channel, I didn't really put titles on my videos, and I just didn't realize how much of an effect it makes on a YouTube channel, and I just didn't. It's just not something I did, right? And I was like playing too safe. I was afraid people would call me out for clickbait and all this other stuff. People do anyway, and I got over it. So, it's like one of those things where it's like, yeah, you could worry. It's almost like there's something like that in your life where it's like you could be thinking that people are going to criticize you for doing something. But it's like, well, people are going to criticize you anyway. I always say, I'm convinced you could hand out $100 bills on the street and people would have something to say about it. So it's like, you're never going to be perfect. You're never going to please everybody. And I kind of get that energy on the Six of Cups. You have the Ace of Swords as your outcome, which is amazing. I mean, Ace of Swords is the truth. It's a victory. It's success. It's good things coming in for you. It's overcoming obstacles because the sword is above the mountains. And so I feel all that for you, Capricorn. And it's definitely a much more positive reading. Again, this is a difficult eclipse. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. And it's not even just the eclipse. It's everything else that's going on as well. But your reading is definitely a little bit more positive. Again, the other readings, Taurus had a good reading. You have a good reading, and that's it. Everybody else has had much more challenging readings, I would say. So, not that there isn't a challenge here, because there definitely is. But, again, I think that you might have a better time. With the Three of Swords, and the Four of Swords, you have the Knight of Pentacles. I would take your time at this time. Knight of Pentacles normally I don't really like because he's the only knight in the tarot who isn't moving, and he needs to make a move. But at the same time, again, we have all these retrogrades going on. I do think it's a good time to make sure you can see where you're putting your foot, next. Especially if you're going on a journey. It's like if you were climbing a mountain, you need to make sure that your foot is being put in a good place so you don't twist your ankle, right? And I definitely get that feeling where it's like, take your time. Whatever you're working towards, even though you've, maybe that's the other challenge here, right? With the tower is making you feel like you need to rush. And I feel like this is saying there is no rush. You can't solve this overnight. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but I feel like the Empress is really saying that. I feel like she's really saying, you might not be able to solve your problem overnight, but if you rush, it's going to take you a lot longer because you're going to slip down the mountain because you're not paying attention where your foot is going. Does that make sense, Capricorn? I hope so. With the Tower, you have Hangman. That's exactly what the Tower does. The Tower gives us a new perspective, right? And the Hangman is about gaining a new perspective. Those people are falling out of the Tower and they are being, brought down to the ground. So you definitely could be gaining a new perspective on something that, whatever this Tower moment is for you. I don't really think it's a Tower moment. I think it's more of a concern that feels like a Tower moment, or you feel like something is being taken away from you almost. And really, I feel that you are being led to something better, but The hangman is about being willing to look at things upside down, being willing to be flexible. And that's what I would do with this hangman energy. With the Seven of Pentacles, you have the Queen of Cups. We're in a heart-based time, so following your heart is always a good idea. Also, a very incredibly intuitive time, so you could be getting messages or intuitive messages with all the energy in Pisces. Plus, Venus is going to be retrograding back into Pisces, Mercury as well. So I think for a lot of us that, for everyone, I think everyone should be paying attention to their dreams, paying attention to the intuitive messages they receive, everything. Here you go. With the Two of Pentacles, you have the High Priestess. Same thing. You have like 3 Pisces cards, or, well, 2 right here. So all that Pisces energy showing up here. And the High Priestess is about trusting your intuition. The High Priestess is also about believing in your full potential, which I do think it's time for Capricorn to do. It's like really a time for Capricorn to reach their full potential. And this could be in success, in money, in love, in business, whatever. With the Empress, you have the Four Cups. Yes, you have all the skills you need. The Four Cups, he is disappointed with what he has manifested, and he's not accepting this new opportunity into his life because he has been disappointed with what he has manifested so far. But he needs to realize that those cups contain the ingredients for success. He just needs to mix them all together. I would also say, like, this could all, this part of the reading could also say that you shouldn't be kind of like putting certain requirements on success. Like, and here's what I mean by that is like one of my favorite books of all time, The War of Art, right? Stephen Pressfield, he says that a lot of people prevent themselves from being successful because they say, like, I'll do this when, I think he uses the example of like the single mother that says, I'll go back to school when my kids are 18. But it's, what people need to realize is it's like doing those things that could improve your life. It's like you need to do them now because you could improve your life now. And I definitely feel that on the Four Cups, where it's like saying that, don't tell yourself like, oh, I'll work on that project when this happens, or I can't get started on this idea until I have $100 in my bank account when you only have 10 or whatever. I really feel the Empress is saying there are things, it might seem small, but there are things you can do right now in the present that would get you closer and you would get there faster. With the Nine of Cups, you have the Queen of Pentacles. Very good. I mean, your card, right? So Queen of Pentacles is Capricorn. Queen of Pentacles is also about being very resourceful. Again, she does what she can with what she's got right now. She is focused on the pentacle. She's not focused on this rabbit. Yes, the rabbit can represent fertility and abundance, but the rabbit also represents fears and anxiety. So she's focused on what she has. She's not focused on the worries of what's going on around her. That is really the secret sauce for you at this time here, Capricorn, especially, at the time of the eclipse. With the Three of Pentacles, you have the Temperance card. This is about the people you mix well with. Temperance is about alchemy. It's a card of turning one thing into another. But as far as your closest relationships are concerned, it could be about, again, focusing on those relationships where you really mix together well with those people. And, those are the people I would focus on. With the Six of Cups, you have the Magician here. The Magician says you can have whatever you want, and he is a card of manifestation. And he's also a card of using the right tool for the job, which you could be focusing on. When he shows up in the end, I always pull the card he's pointing to, which we're going to say is this one. This card says, the sun is coming to shine its light to what's been Let's start over. The sun is coming to shine its light to what's been kept hidden to reveal the truth. So there you go. The Ace of Swords, the Tower are both cards of truth. The Tower is showing you the truth, maybe uncomfortably. The Ace of Swords is the truth, so you could definitely be gaining the truth at this time. With the Ace of Swords, you have the Eight of Wands. Yeah, Eight of Wands is quick success or quick conclusion coming in for you. So there definitely could be a lot of truth and success coming in off of that Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands also says we have to, and so does the Ace of Swords. Ace of Swords is a laser-like focus. The whole entire reading is saying you need to focus on what you can, doing what you can with what you got. Eight of Wands, we have to point in one direction, and that's where success comes from. You have this peacock. It says, beware of great pride. We're still in the Mercury retrograde shadow. It's still in Cancer, your opposite sign. So I would definitely be careful of anyone who seems cocky, right, or arrogant. I would avoid that energy. You have this June card and this success card. So between now and June, is when you could really be ramping up your success here or finding success. Things don't happen overnight. So, it's not like you're going to be suffering between now and June. It's like you're building up to this energy. You have this door. It says opportunities are waiting for you. Yes, I think you need to boot this door in for sure. There could be an opportunity that you're looking at, and I think you just need to knock, right? Or something is going on here. I would be careful of requirements. I don't really think that's the word that I'm looking for, but it's like if you're saying like, if you're looking for, I don't know what I want to say here, Capricorn. I'm at a loss for words today again, but it's like if you're putting a certain requirement on something that you want and you're saying this has to look this way, I think that you're going to have a hard time. But if you say I'm going to allow this into my life, then things are going to be better. You have this bird flying. It says news is on the way. A ton of this type of card coming up in these readings. So, we could be getting important messages at this time, and I would pay attention to those messages. You have this flute. It says disappointment in a friend or a lover. Again, I would be careful of arrogant people, people that just do things that are untrustworthy or things like that. I would also, I think we should practice understanding right now because it is a chaotic, eclipse, and people could be acting out of character. So, at the same time, having grace with people, I think, is important at this time as well. But pretty good here, Capricorn. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy the eclipse.